What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new video of Whistling with Wiz. Happy to be with you guys today. So today we're going to talk about what I've learned from being a Raiders fan this year. To be honest with you guys, I've been a Raiders fan since I was very young, since 2002. And it's been like 20 years of suffering being a Raiders fan. But I'm never gonna become a fan of a different team. I've always been a Raiders fan since I was young, since I found out about football, and it's been a team that I've actually painfully followed all these 20 years of my life, basically. And yesterday, I wanted to do this video because yesterday I learned a lot. I watched only the second half of the game. I didn't watch the entire game. I was following the game, and then I was like, you know what? I've done everything I needed to do for today. I want to watch the game, so I went ahead and allowed myself to watch the game. And yeah, it was without a doubt one of those heartbreak games again that I personally I could only laugh about. I could only laugh about the fact that I saw a 16-3 lead being lost in literally the fourth quarter. But that kind of brought me to really realize what happens when certain scenarios kind of play out in our lives, and it's a good thing to kind of look at. And the Raiders have been a very much of an example of this principle of life, because maybe they don't want to lose games, but they are losing based on certain things that I've kind of noticed from them. I don't know what happens, but it happens. I mean, I think they are the biggest team that have lost the most leads this year, after leading by two or more scores in the half. On the half, I mean, they led the Cardinals 20-0 at halftime, ended up losing that game. They were leading the Chiefs 17-0 at some point. They ended up losing the game. They were leading the Rams 16-3. They ended up losing the game. And those same games last year, they have close games last year as well. I also believe they were beating the Chargers on week 1. They ended up losing that game. But they literally have had opportunities to win games. And every game they've lost also has been based on a possession. They've never gotten blown out this year. But to be honest with you guys, it's very disappointing that a team with so much talent, at least in the offense, and I think that's been one of the main issues this year. The defense has been horrible. Aside from Jones, aside from Crosby, everyone else is like, I don't know what they're doing, man. The secondary has not been the best for years. I don't think they've had a decent secondary player. I mean, we have Hobbs this year. I mean, he's been able to been okay on occasions, but other than that, the secondary is trash. And just the defense as a whole has so many like weaknesses. This year, offense, Jacobs has literally gotten to that next level of a running back, and it could be just because he wants to get paid. I hope he doesn't like what happened to Ezekiel Elliott doesn't happen to him, where he does get paid and then he becomes bad, you know. So it's just a matter of seeing, and I mean, that's the risk that you run with running backs, to be honest with you. When they get paid for the most part, and I mean, it is a very liable position because of the amount of hits, the amount of touches that is required from a running back. But regardless to say, I hope Jacobs gets paid. I mean, the guys deserve it. He's really good. He definitely has a lot of future ahead of him. And he still has like at least another 5 to 6 years in him. I truly believe that. Regardless to say, man, I mean, yesterday watching that game, it was painful, not because of the loss, but it was painful how they lost. And this is what I wanted to go with this. I mean, if you know that this channel is about self-development, is about becoming better, it is about sports as well, and just becoming a better version of yourself and becoming a better man. And what I've learned from the Raiders this year, being a Raiders fan, is you can never let the foot off the gas. You can never do that, ever. You can never get too comfortable, because once you get comfortable, you're going to more than likely lose what you're comfortable trying to defend. And that's one of the main things that you have to apply to life, man. Like, you cannot feel comfortable just because you have a one up on someone else, or you cannot be comfortable because you might be at a better position in your life right now than someone else, because someone else that is hungrier than you is going to come and take that away from you. And in this case, that's the main reason the Raiders have lost several games this year. 20-0, yeah, you could say, we have a halftime lead. We're going to come and cruise on second half, and we're going to be able to win this game, no problem. No, sir. Someone else is going to come out that is hungrier, that still believes that they're in the game, and is going to go ahead and take that win just from you. And that's the main thing that I learned from the Raiders this year, man. Not saying that the players are not hungry, not saying that they don't want to win, because I mean, Adams, Carr, I'm pretty sure Carr is already like tired of losing. The only season that they had that he actually was really legit, like that he's gone to the playoffs, he wasn't able to participate, other than last year obviously, but he wasn't able to participate on that year where they lost against the Texans in the wild card because he got injured. But last year they put up a good fight against the Bengals, but I really wasn't thinking that they were going to be good enough because there were some pieces missing. Like the receiving core was not there. I know they had Waller, they had Renfro, they had Jacobs, but that missing piece was there, and obviously our defense was still not there. So I believe that the defense is going to be the main thing that the Raiders have to focus on next year. The offense pieces are there, man. At least for another 2 to 3 years, as long as they have a line, which the line is pretty good. Like I don't think the line is bad at all, to be honest with you guys. I mean, there's a reason that Jacobs is the top running back. There's a reason that even Carr has been able to make throws. Adams is over 1,000 yards almost. So it's working, it's working. The offense is working. So I truly believe that defense has to get more focus, more pieces in the defensive back positions. There's no corners. There's some young talent, but still, man, like there's so many holes within that defense that is incredible that they've been able to even win some of these games. But regardless to say, guys, I mean, the main message for you today is that don't ever think that because you're in a position that you're currently good at, or you're in a position that you're currently like succeeding at, or you're happy at, or you're comfortable at, or you're making progress at, don't ever allow yourself to stay in that particular position. Always be striving to get better. Always be striving to always have an eye on going forward and getting better. And actually, don't relax until you execute whatever it is that you put your eye into. That's one of the main things that I believe that this year, from the Raiders aspect of it, the fact that you've had so many leads tells you that, okay, you're good enough to a certain point. So what's going on in the second half where you guys are losing the focus, the passion, the intensity, and it could be so many different things going in the background. But the thing is that if you don't have your mindset set on the goal of winning and stay within that 4 quarters, that, hey, yeah, we got 20 points up. We're 20 points up. We're 16 points up. But we cannot let up. We need to finish this game and make it so big of a lead that we don't even allow the other team come back or even try to come back, because there's certain points where you could get, like, if you would have, like, for example, 20-0, you would have made it 28 or maybe 35-0. Yeah, that's pretty unattainable to even come back from a 30 point deficit. But 20-0, you're still 3 scores away. You can easily score 3 touchdowns within 2 quarters. You get some turnovers, you get some easy quick and outs. It's still a game. There's a reason comebacks like that have occurred in the past. There's a reason there's a Tom Brady, You know, so that's why I say, like, guys in general, if you're watching today's video and if you are the Raider fan, or you and as a whole are a fan of a team that has been listening for years, because the Raiders, to be honest with you guys, I've been following the Raiders for 20 years. I've been excited about some seasons. I was excited when Del Rio was the coach, when he drafted Mack, when he had drafted Cooper. That was that one year that they actually were able to get to the playoffs, where David Carr got injured. And honestly, that was going to be a good year. I truly believe that Derek Carr would have been good and probably would have won that wild card game if he wasn't injured. The Raiders would have won that wild card game. But hey, we don't live in what ifs. I mean, he got injured, he didn't play, and to be honest, he wasn't the same player after that. And it's taken him a long time to kind of get back to him being able to scramble comfortably, being able to move in the pocket. And I mean, it's everyone I guess processes their injuries differently, and it's very difficult for a player to process injuries that really, because it really takes a mental toll on them. You know, one of the guys that I was always a fanatic about and look up to was Adrian Peterson, because that dude was able to came back and did over 2,000 yards of rushing after almost a really crazy ass injury. And the thing is that it's incredible to see that, but that's not the norm. A lot of players get injured, then they're never the same again, and it takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication and commitment to the game for you to come back and even be better than you were before, you know. So at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna always be a Raiders fan. It sucks. It honestly sucks that they've lost so many close games this year. Last year they won a lot of close games, but the team as a whole is in a good direction. I truly believe that. Sometimes I get frustrated with McDaniels, to be honest with you, because some of the fucking plays he calls are ridiculous, are very questionable, to be honest with you. But I truly believe it's easier for someone to say something about them or about your team when you're not the one in the game. So that's why I kind of understand. I get frustrated in the moment, but I do understand the process. And for McDaniels to be his first year, I mean, it really hasn't changed. Like, the chemistry within the team hasn't changed. The dynamic, where they're going, I don't see it changing. The only difference from last year to this year is the fact that they have not been able to have that one player, have that one call. Like, the reason they lost yesterday, 17-16, was because of a stupid penalty. If they would have been able to not have that penalty, they more than likely would have won the game 16 to fucking 10. But because of that penalty, allowed the drive to continue. It allowed Mayfield to do what he does, and they ended up losing 17-16. But that was one of the ugliest games that I've seen from the Raiders this year. And it was really pathetic, to be honest. Like, they had no fucking energy. And the crazy thing is that when I think the offense only had the ball like 3 to 5 times on the second half, which is unacceptable, to be honest. But it was because, hey, that wasn't stopping the offense with the Rams, and they keep chewing on the clock, and they just were playing possession games. So it worked out for the Rams, and cool to see Mayfield kind of come after a couple of days just being with the team, being able to pull a win. Good for them. But regardless to say, man, that's what I learned from being a Raiders fan this year. I'm always be a Raiders fan, but I'm always also never let the pedal off the gas, because you never know who's trying to get your shit or who's trying to get you to fail. And it's reality of life, man. The more you get comfortable, the more you're getting yourself in a trap in life that you will you'll see the consequences of staying in that particular place without movement or without improvement. See you in the next one, guys. If you like today's video, go ahead and subscribe. more content and more videos like this will be released. See you in the next one. Take care. Peace out.